Hello, hello. Good day, all ye brothers and sisters. Welcome to this fine, holy day we have together to share. I hope you're eating your pasta. We have a special topic today. We are reading from the Gospels of the Flying Spaghetti Monster by our wonderful Bobby Henderson. We know the author of this book. Isn't that convenient? Hello, welcome everyone. Hail, all hail the noodly goodness. Thank you for participating. Welcome aboard. Oh, I have to put in my noodly hearing device. Please excuse me one moment while I get my noodly appendages in my ear holes. Ah, yes. Ramen, ramen, brothers and sisters. Ramen. Can you still hear me okay? Mic check, mic check. We are reading from the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster today. Praise be upon his noodly goodness. I'm going to make myself a little bigger, slightly more important looking. There we go. What a glorious day it is. It's a bit cool here in Maine, but his warm spaghetti noodly appendages warm my hearts. I have been reading ahead, picking out chapters from the Gospels, and I would like to start today's sermon with the unified spaghetti theory. Oh, where did my list of notes go? Ah, yes, ramen. Remember, everyone, the flying spaghetti monster loves us all. He boiled for our sins. He loves you with all of his parmesan. Let's see. From the wonderful wise words of Bobby Henderson, we can learn more about the unified spaghetti theory. This is the origins of life. We have science that helps us understand how his noodly appendages shapes the worlds that we know and love. So without further ado, I would read to you. Before the flying spaghetti monster made life, he had to first make the elementary particles that would eventually encompass all matter as we know it. This is the very complicated process, but we have developed a much simpler method, one you can try at home. First, you take a piece of subatomic string, which naturally is just an incredibly small strand of wet spaghetti, so tiny that it cannot be seen by even the most powerful of microscopes. Next, give the string a unique vibration. Now repeat giving each new string a different vibration so as to create more unique properties. Congratulations! You have created particles of matter. Be sure to collect the particles into a secure vessel for later use. See, it's the perfect words of the flying spaghetti monster channeled through Bobby Henderson as he wrote The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Ramen, ramen. May noodles be upon you. Couscous, couscous to all. Orzo to you too. Now, we are ready to make life. In order to recreate string primordial broth that originally spawned life, you must first bring your water to a heavy boil. Salt liberally. Now add your elementary particles and wait about an hour. When you begin to see small spiral components forming, they will resemble fusilini. When they're ready, that means you're almost there. Remember not to drain the water. Now apply intense overhead heat for about an hour. Yes, continue boiling and applying intense overhead heat. Eventually, you will begin to see small organisms appearing in your broth. Give yourself a pat on the back. You have just created life. And we even have some illustrations from our Lord and Savior, the flying spaghetti monster. Noodles be upon us all. See, these are tiny little spirals of subatomic spaghetti noodles. Mmm, delicious. Couscous to all. Ramen. Fettuccine. A careful review of the evidence shows clearly that life was generated from the simplest piece of pasta, and that all life has since radiated to more or less resemble his image. But the spaghetti didn't stop there. In fact, science tells us that the universe itself is composed of nothing more than an enormous matrix of strings vibrating on their own noodly music, forming a single unified, coherent framework of invisible spaghetti. In short, it's not all eternal bowl of pasta. But it's delicious nonetheless. Maybe a little high on carbohydrates, but that need not matter, for he loves us all. Nope, it's not just for the Christians today. We have the flying spaghetti monster in our presence, everyone. Ramen. Peace and noodles be upon us all. Don't forget to cheese liberally. More attentive readers will note that we've failed to address the image of man. While other religions may make the claim that humans were created in God's image, and that they are nearly correct in this assumption, they are guilty of using reverse logic to reach this conclusion. That they don't discern is that we are created in his ideal image, that of the pirates. Yes, yar, mateys, the pirates are the most beloved of the Pastafarians. Why they don't discern is that we are created in his ideal image, that of the pirates. Since then, we've only come to resemble other people's gods. It is important that we return to the ways of the pirates before it is too late. In fact, recent science suggests that our departure from the pirates' way has led us towards a previously unforeseen end. As our brains and bodies grow in size, and as machines replace the need for physical strength and agility, we may find ourselves the victims of an ironic twist of his noodly creation. If current trends persist, the day may come when people of the future actually do resemble his image. This illustration below, which was created by a scientist, may help. Right there, everyone. As the machines do all the work for us, our arms and legs get lanky and slender and noodly like pasta strings, and our bellies get full with the carbohydrate noodly goodness. Ramen. Fettuccine, everyone. Spaghetti. Fettuccine. Spaghetti to all. Spaghetti to all. With this evidence in mind, we suggest that you get yourself an eye patch and become a Pastafarian before it's too late! Ramen, everyone. Ramen. Fettuccine. Linguine. I would like to share a brief story with everyone. I woke up this morning only moments ago before I donned this shirt and a holy cheese grater, and I clicked on the TikTok live just to see who was on, and I came across beautiful picture of a beautiful church and a beautiful man making a beautiful sermon, and the most beautiful thing of all were the empty pews. There were maybe 5 or 6 people in the pews, but the rest were vacant and empty. It's a sign, people. It's a clear sign that everyone is moving to his holy noodly goodness and embracing the pasta way. Peace be upon us all. Ramen. Spaghetti, orzo, tortellini, minicati. In our next chapter, we will examine more evidence for his holy spaghetti noodliness. The majority of proofs of his existence appear to come from scientists, and scientists appear, in large part, to come from colleges and universities. Therefore, we thought it would provide enlightenment to look more closely at these institutions of higher learning. I should hold the book so you can see. It's a beautiful cover. Yes. Hello, everyone. We are reading from the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. It would prove enlightening to look more closely at these institutions of higher learning and to try to find some evidence of his noodly appendages at work. We came up with some interesting results. It is well known that college students are our best hope for the future. These intrepid individuals are willing to pay thousands of dollars of their parents' money just to read books. So it goes without saying that learning is very important to them. But what exactly are they learning? If you examine the research on this subject, you will also see that while many students do, in fact, spend time reading books of knowledge, they also spend equal or greater amounts of time drinking beer. You may ask what beer has to do with learning, and many doubters will argue that there is no link whatsoever, but we have uncovered some surprising evidence for the benefits of beer consumption. Beer acts as an important nutritional supplement to the college students, writes Bobby Henderson in his masterful work, The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Beer acts as an important nutritional supplement to the college student, but that's not really important. Beer is also the official beverage of pirates. Yarr! Who are his chosen people. With that in mind, we ask you, could the Flying Spaghetti Monster be behind all this? Is he trying to turn college students back into pirates, you may ask? Yarr! Furthermore, it is accepted fact that there are uncanny amounts of ramen noodles and dried pasta on college campuses, which provide cheap nutrition for students, thus allowing them to afford more beer. Yarr! This points yet another finger at the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Influence! 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 Tortellini to all. He provides. Yes, he provides. Ramen, ramen, ramen. Remember to say your couscous and rotinis and tortellinis. Ramen. College costs money. A lot of money. Yet education in itself is not much value. For example, as Bobby Henderson writes, for example, we can look to the general public's almost complete disregard for anything that educated people have to say about global warming, shrinking oil reserves, pollution, or the threat of nuclear annihilation. But if this is true, why does something as worthless as a college diploma cost so much money? To understand this question, we examined the unique and often bizarre relationship between college and money, and our research led us to an interesting finding. Yes, thank you all for being here. Ramen, ramen, couscous to all. It appears that college education has been given an artificially high price tag in order to leave students with little money left over for the basic requirements of living. Burdened by poverty, students are induced to drink cheap beer and eat cheap pasta. In short, they are forced to act like pirates and pastafarians. And we can only conclude that this is some part of his greater plan to spread Flying Spaghetti Monsterism. If the students truly are our future, so it would appear, is pastafarianism. Are you a pirate? What the heck is start? Yes, we're going to start that poll. Please, everyone, tap the screen to like. Help us share his noodly appendages. Bring more eyeballs into the stream. Please, if you would kindly tap that screen and fill out the survey below. We have more illustrations. Does anybody know what that is? I do. I lived in New Zealand for almost a year. That, my friends, is a kiwi bird. the, the question is, poorly evolved or just lazy? Oh, wonderful. Our noble churchgoer Chelsea is with us today. Hello, sister. How are you?
I'm so sorry, Pastor. It's snowing marinara out there, and it's very difficult to get here.
It is snowing marinara out there. Yes. I will be your poster today. I will be your TikTok poster for the day.
Genuinely dying inside, but I love this so much.
I can't. Oh. It may not be tea, but beer. The holy spoon. Yes. This is the whole. Yar, the holy spoon. Hi, everyone. Thanks for spending your glorious Sunday with my noodly silliness. All this effort for what? I'm trying to bring the gospel of the flying spaghetti monster to us all, so that you, my friends, my dear lads and lasses, may appreciate the grandeur of his noodly goodness. Remember, he boiled for our sins. He created us in his noodly image. He sprinkles salt on the vegetables so that we may enjoy them. And here are the noble, wise words of our writer of the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, the one, the only Bobby Henderson. We know the author's name. We have a print date. You can't say that about your holy book so well, can you? You don't know when it was written. We do. He talks about the kiwi birds. Flightless? Question mark. Evolutionists contend that flightless birds, for example, the kiwi bird from New Zealand, never developed the ability to fly. The old argument goes that, having no natural predators in their area, there were never a reason to evolve the ability. While I'll agree that I've never seen a kiwi bird fly, I disagree with the statement that they can't fly. How do we know? Couldn't it just be that they choose not to? You'll never see me running, but there's a good chance I could. Kiwi birds, besides being completely spherical, are well known to be one of nature's laziest animals. Hi, kitty. We have a pasta cats with us now. Oh, I almost tipped the camera. Kitty is going to join us in our reading. Read, Kitty, read. Sorry, Kitty. I didn't mean to bonk you. Yes, hello.
Okay, first of all, how is Sia?
She's good. She's good. Sia, my cat Sia, is much better. She just got over I don't know if it was a sinus infection or a cold, but she's been spreading her little snot particles all over my worlds lately, and I'm so glad she's not doing that anymore.
Well, ramen for you, friend, that you aren't sick, and she is no longer sick.
Yes, ramen.
Our friends have left us. Friends, like and share this video. We need more parishioners.
Yes, pastorishioners. We need some more pastorishioners.
We definitely need more pastorishioners. Please, friend, keep reading. I'm so fascinated.
All right, Kitty, you can't take over right now.
Thea wants attention so bad.
Oh my goodness. She's doing donuts in my lap.
Thea, there's a cheese grater, girl.
What
Girl.
the heck?
Thea. Me?
It's not sharp anymore. This thing's like from the 1950s.
I know, I saw it, so old.
Same with this.
Meanwhile, trying to preach. See ya.
Yes. All right, cat, get your tail out of my face.
But Dad...
Besides being completely spherical, kiwi birds are well known for being one of nature's laziest animals. All right, cat, you really want to be part of this live. Hi, kitty. Yes, no cheese for you, kitty. Consider the speed with which they are going extinct. It is almost as if they are trying to get eaten. I contend, then, that they can fly, but simply lack the proper motivation. So, to settle the debate, which, once and for all, I've devised an experiment that any evolutionist can carry out in an attempt to prove me wrong. Okay, the cat has finally settled down. I may continue my preaching, pastaing, my tortellini. I'll just continue my tortellini. Dump truck over cliff. You will need a large and simple size as possible. As large a sample size. You will need as large a sample size as possible for this experiment, as some kiwis are bound to be lazier than others. 20 to 30 is probably sufficient, but it's better to err on the side of too many if you have a sufficient supply. Load the birds into the back of a truck and proceeds to the highest cliff available. We want to give them as much motivation as possible. After backing the truck to the edge of the cliff, incline the bed and dump the birds over the edge. I suspect that the birds, seeing their fate rushing towards them at terminal velocity, will flap their useless wings and fly to safety. Ramen, 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 ramen. Until such time as this experiment is carried out, are one simpler to do it, or one similar to it, I will consider my hypothesis to be correct. That's right, folks, you heard it here from Bobby Henderson. If you can't test your hypothesis, just assume it's right. What's the harm in that? Why don't we just all assume our hypotheses are right, despite the evidence or lack of testing? Assume, everyone, assume it's right. 5,000 years ago, the beginning, he, the flying spaghetti monster, created the universe and a bunch of planets, including Earth. No one except himself was around to see it, but we suspect it was rather dull. The initial creation, obviously, must have been spectacular, but he then spent the next 10 to 100 years painstakingly preparing the universe to appear older than it actually is. Photons were placed individually en route to Earth, ostensibly emitting millions of years ago from stars across the galaxy. In reality, we know that each photon was divinely placed and redshifted. If you don't know what redshift is, go buy a physics book. Even though half of them are full of lies, you may learn what the redshift is. It's like the red seasoning that you put on the pasta. It's like that, but different. In reality, each photon, we are still finding his camouflage methods at work today. Each time scientists discover evidence of a billion of years old universe, we can assume and be assured that this is just more elaborate preparation he put in place. Earth was created in approximately 0.062831853 seconds, and is similarly disguised to appear much older. We can be certain that the flying spaghetti monster spent even more time preparing the Earth, because, being all-knowing, he was well aware that soon enough there would be nosy people poking around everywhere, known as scientists. These nosy people have a sick need, probably sexually motivated, to figure out how things work. And so it was even more important that our apparent reality be well designed to hide the truth. Yes, to hide the truth. Blind your eyes, for ye shall not see the truth. Ye must believe. Just assume. Never mind the hypotheses and experiments. Those scientists are all sexually motivated. Don't listen to what they say. Oh, my noodly ear appendage fell out.
Someone said, Pastor, where is your bow tie? Next Sunday.
I searched for a tie. I was gonna wear a tie and then a bow tie, and I couldn't find one in the house. I don't know where they all went.
I don't know
so
if
I
you
went.
can see, but I am wearing my limited edition necklace, but you can't see
Nice.
it. You can't see it.
See, what you really need to do is go to the kitchen and find a utensil to don.
Sir. Sir. The problem is that I am a chef and I use my utensils, and if I were to adorn them, I would forever look at the utensil differently. That is my problem. Also, I don't think I have anything round. I don't. Everything I have is oval.
Please excuse my cheesy jokes.
Please continue.
I'm trying. I have to drink my not beer.
On a holy day as this, you dare not drink? We take sacrament later.
Our noodly creator then placed fossils hidden under the Earth's surface, knowing that they would later be found, thus seemingly proving that these creatures existed some time ago. Dinosaur bones, for example, were placed so well and in such numbers that it's widely believed dinosaurs roamed the Earth millions of years ago. Interestingly, dinosaurs did exist, but not millions of years ago, because of course, how could they have existed before the Earth was even there? In reality, they lived with us, alongside and occasionally on top of humans around 3,000 years ago. You may wonder why we find no bones from dinosaurs from this era, and rightly so. But keep in mind that dinosaurs don't actually have bones. The whole dinosaur have bones thing is all an elaborate hoax, plans for his own divine amusements. See, he's a trickster. He likes to have jokes. Therefore, he appreciates my cheesy jokes, my cheesy humor.
I just assumed dinosaurs were very much like the tiny nuggets that you put on top of your spaghetti mountain. That's how I always assumed. He spoke of it so clearly in his books.
Lost my place. I'm sorry.
Dang it, Pastor.
Real dinosaurs, as any enlightened paleontologist, or bone doctor, bone doctor as they prefer to be called, paleontologist, Paleontologist.
Paleontologist.
You'll have to excuse me. I haven't read ahead. This is a first reading. We're reading it together. Real dinosaurs, as any enlightened paleontologist or bone doctor, as they prefer to be called, will tell you, were able to stand erect by engorging selected muscles with blood, making the once flaccid limb rigid. By alternating which muscles were engorged in the correct sequence, a very effective locomotion and rudimentary skeletal structure was achieved. Perverted readers may recognize that this mechanism is similar to what happens in the male phallic symbol, appendage, member, willy. Dinosaurs were, in essence, not much more than a massive collection of willies or peni under a thick skin. While
That's the most amazing thing I think I've ever heard.
while oh, we have a guest waiting. Let me get to the end of the sentence and I'll bring a guest aboard. Preach. While very few accurate descriptions of these creatures have existed in present times, we can be pleased to learn that awareness of them has propagated generationally in our culture. Most men don't even realize that when they exaggerate the size of their Johnson, referring to it as a monstrous or dinosaur-like, they are help keeping alive the hidden truth of the strange and horny beasts we know as dinosaurs. Raw men, everyone. Raw men. Oh, our guest disappeared. Come on up, people, if you want to have a chat.
Welcome to church.
Please help me spread the gospel of the flying spaghetti monster. Oh.
This is going to be such a good day. It can't go wrong.
Of course it is. Every day under his noodly good news is a good one. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to my reading of Bobby Henderson's The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Yar. Don't forget to talk like a pirate. Every day is Talk Like a Pirate Day in the Flying Spaghetti Monster's ears. Yay.
A parishioner has asked if they must all wear their adornment while attending service.
It is preferred, but not
it is
necessary.
It is customary. It's not disrespectful not to. That's the point.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Good sauce, brother. Good sauce. Sometime later, Bobby Henderson writes, as society progressed, the attention of mankind moved away from dinosaurs. By now they had been conquered and placed under the control of men for work and play, and instead man turned to philosophical thoughts. The question of our origins came up, and it was decided, based on the apparent natural evidence, that all creatures had evolved from a common ancestor over time, some million years ago. 2,500 years ago, the golden age of pirates. Yar. What happened next is still a mystery. Mankind, up until this time, had been successfully duped by the flying spaghetti monster, wrongly believing that natural excellent. Excuse me, the pasta's coming back up. One would think that the flying spaghetti monster himself would be pleased by this. Oops, I skipped a part. Mankind, up until this time, had been successfully duped by the flying spaghetti monster, wrongly believing that natural explanations could explain our origins. One would think that the flying spaghetti monster himself would be pleased by this, as he had gone to so much trouble disguising his creation work. But for whatever reason, he felt the need to expose the truth to us. This was the date. Some 2,500 years ago that he first revealed his noodly appendages to us, showing us the way of the noodly appendage, the way. Everyone, flap your noodly appendages with me if you have them. Away, away, ramen, orzo, tortellini, parmigiana. From this point on, those who accepted his message knew that we were to live a certain way on the waters of great wooden ships loaded with grog, swag, and hopefully wenches. And winches for the lazy. Winches and wenches. This was his will, and so it was done. Unfortunately, many of the details from this era are lost to us, possibly because many ships sank due to overloading. Swag is very heavy after all, and these, the first Pastafarians, showed less than 100% perfect judgment, having drunk too much grog. What we do know, though, is that this was the golden age of pirate lifestyle. Millions, possibly hundreds of pirate ships roamed the world's oceans and maybe lakes, searching for a good time, spreading joy, maybe VD, to whomever they came into contact with. Yeah, don't forget the VD. If you know, you know. Please remember to tap that like screen. More taps equals more eyeballs. We can share the gospel of the flying spaghetti goodness. Ramen, rotini.
I was looking for my pirate hat.
Ah.
I be in fact a pirate, sir.
Did you find your pirate hat?
It be on the ship. I do have my swag, though.
You know what? I didn't start my recording program to record this. I hope someone is recording it. If you are, send me the. I would love to read the chat. When I can go and grab the video from TikTok, but it doesn't save the chat. Or it didn't used to. Maybe it does with the update now. I haven't tried. Anyway.
Brother Brian. On a day such as today, on the holiest of noodliest days.
That's okay. We'll do it again. Next Sunday is another noodly day.
That was Friday.
We could make this a thing.
We should make this a thing.
We should make this a thing.
Hold on. I'm gonna make. If I bring it close to my face while trying to make a, I'll try to make a. Oh my god, my brain just stopped. We'll try to make a survey. It'll look straight up my nose. So do excuse me, everyone. I will return. Don't forget to accept me while you're reading. Okay? Thank you.
Yes.
Ramen.
Accept all ramen.
Be right back.
Okay. I love you all. I love the hat too. Hey, what's the point in life if we can't be serious from time to time? Okay. And so it was done. Unfortunately, many of the details from the era were lost. Ah, yes. The VD. The holy VD. What we're told of pirates in history books today is blatantly wrong, writes Bobby Henderson in The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Thieves and outcasts they were not. Should we make this a weekly thing? Of course we should make this a weekly thing. Use your noodly appendages to tap thy screen and vote in thy poll. Ramen.
Yes, vote in thy poll.
We were told that pirates in history books today is blatantly wrong. Thieves and outcasts they were not. These were his chosen people, the ones who listened and follow his divine plan, whatever it was. The commonly propagated myth that pirates were thieves can be traced, unsurprisingly, to the Christian theologians of the Middle Ages.
Makes sense.
It's just another example of the discrimination and misinformation that we've had to contend with over the years, and another reason Pastafarians have been secretive about their beliefs. Yes, do you want to talk about oppressed religions? Look at the Pastafarians. Look at the amount of pirates in today's high society and culture. And you may think that there's more pirates today because of online piracy and things, but those aren't true pirates. True pirates have patches over their eyes, pegs for legs, hooks for hands, or at least colanders on their heads. Yar! Ramen, brothers and
Sir.
sisters. Fettuccine.
Sir, I have a hat and go on a boat. Does that not make me a pirate? Do I have to remove the hand?
As
Or
long
the
as you're
leg?
talking like a pirate. You have to make at least one pirate joke or talk like a pirate the entire time.
Can I get the patch? Is that sufficient?
Yeah, you could, but then your depth perception may falter, which isn't necessarily recommended on a boat, but who am I to
I
judge?
was driving the boat.
Yeah,
I'm a
fair enough.
pillager. Let's be clear. I have the swag.
You're bringing the booty.
Have you not seen The Crown? It's the swag, bro. Where do you think I
The
get
swag.
this stuff?
So a pirate walks into a bar,
Oh god.
and he's got a paper towel strapped to his head. And he goes up to the bartender and he orders a drink. And the bartender looks at him a little funny, and he pours his drink, then he hands it to the pirate. And he says, "Tell me, kind sir, could you please explain why you have a paper towel on your head?" And the pirate looks at him and gives him a dirty look and says, "Yar, matey, I don't know about no paper towel, but I got a bounty on me head." Now, in case you are from a land that doesn't have bounty paper towels, it's a Brands. I know that joke may have been lost on some of you who don't have bounty paper towels.
I instantly heard the commercial in my head.
The quicker picker upper bounty.
Not sponsored.
Arr. Yes, we're not sponsored by any paper towel manufacturing companies.
Arr. I love the fit today, Brian.
It's Sunday. I want to tell my story again. I love telling this story.
Please.
I woke up this morning and I turned on the holy TikTok like we all do. Got to get that adrenaline rush from the algorithm. Got to get those endorphins, right? And I saw a preacher at his pulpit in a church, a beautiful church. It was a beautiful preacher in this beautiful church, and I saw these beautiful empty pews. There were like 6 people in the whole church, and the rest of the pews were empty, and that warmed my heart. It made me so happy.
Do you realize
so
we have more people in our church than they did?
Like 4 times, 5 times as many.
Way more. They had 6.
And half of the people were talking shit.
No. Literally in the church. In the church. there was okay, so there was like 4 people that we could see in the pews, maybe 5, and there was one guy holding a camera for sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
I took a screenshot. Maybe when I'm done reading in the next 15-20 minutes, I'll share that picture of the beautiful empty pews.
Can you squeak out the name? Like
Can I do what?
Like smudge out the name? Do you want me to smudge out the name?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll go smudge out the name.
I sent it to you. I sent the picture.
I'll go smudge out the name.
Yeah, we don't want to be
offensive.
Bringing attention to anyone. Oh yeah, we don't want to be offending anyone.
Or bringing attention to them, for sure.
His noodly goodness forbid we be offensive to anyone. How dare we?
The resounding poll is hells yeah.
Hells yeah. Ramen. We can offend.
What is the equivalence Is there a heaven for us? I'm still lost, considering that he is in fact touching David.
We're getting there. We're getting
Oh,
there.
thank you. I'm sorry.
Oh, we have a guest request.
My
Glory.
book is my. Oh, I should go get my Bible. What am I doing? Hold, please.
Okay.
Go get your guest.
Hello and welcome to this glorious holy day. How are you today? What's on your minds?
Hello, hello. Well,
Uh,
it's usually a busy week, and weekend is just for relaxing or thinking about how to do more work.
okay.
So actually,
And
I'm first time in your live, and I have heard a little bit before about Spaghetti Monster, and I guess it is this one.
yay! Excellent. Yes, this is a true religion. This is a real religion. It's not fake at all. And
Yeah.
it shares the beauty of critical thinking. It uses science to demonstrate that claims are true, right? We shouldn't just accept a claim. We should examine the evidence. And when Bobby Henderson writes that there's science that backs up the fact that the flying spaghetti monster is real, we all should believe it. What do you think about that?
Well, I actually haven't heard much about what is this spaghetti monster religion and so on. And I heard first time about it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And I thought to join this live in idea to maybe ask you about what is your relation maybe to other religions. And when I joined, I also thought about the term like some organizations form like alliances and so on, and maybe I could suggest you to investigate another religion.
Sure, I'll give you a moment to suggest, but typically my live conversations are about that kind of thing. We go into some long form discussions about skepticism, epistemology, what's the usefulness of faith, things like that. So I'm glad that you're here for the first time. This is not normal for me, but it's Sunday, the Lord Holy Flying Spaghetti Monsters Day. Actually, it's Friday, but that's a detail we can get to later. So please come back in the future and we can have a more long form conversation about this stuff.
Well,
But for right now, for
I could
today,
talk to you.
I'm just sharing the gospel of the flying spaghetti monster today. But I want you to
Okay,
come back another time. But yeah, final
why not
thoughts. What's on
today?
your mind? Maybe later today. Yeah, maybe later today. I want to get through a few more passages from the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, and yeah, come back later if you have time.
Maybe.
Okay, good, 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 good. I've got another guest. We're going to go to Will I Am. All right. Hello, Will. Welcome. What's on your minds today?
Hey, so I actually downloaded the gospel on the Audible app and I've been listening to it for a week or so because like I refer to the spaghetti monster so much on TikTok. I was like, maybe I should understand what it is. And so um
Maybe I should read the book.
right, yeah, maybe I should do
Like,
that.
if I have the book, is that the same as reading the book?
I mean, if you
Hmm.
put it on top of your head, technically it transfers, so
Ah, I see. I put it under my pillow.
Ah, okay. Maybe that's why I didn't understand the information. It was on the other side. Anyway, so I got kind of got lost in the uh intelligent design and unintelligent design, and then it was like a crazy loop. Can you kind of explain, what's the difference in like what was he trying to say? You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I should find that passage. It's a beautiful passage. Sometimes the flying spaghetti monster may It may seem like he's deceiving us. For example, we just talked about how he hid the truth for years and years until it was revealed to us. So even though it may appear confusing, it's not. You have to have a certain amount of positive faith in the texture.
So it's
the
me,
texture.
not
It's
the
you.
faith.
It's definitely
Right.
you. It's
Oh,
the
okay,
texture.
got
You
it.
have to feel the texture of the noodly pages to get the truth.
What if it's on Audible?
You gotta get the texture. Gotta get in there. Gotta get the texture.
Oh, okay, got it.
Pull out the ear strings and listen more. Click carefully.
Got it. The platypus, though. That's awesome.
The platypus. Yes, the
Yes,
platypus.
the platypus.
Ramen, brother. Fettuccine to you. Fettuccine.
All right, well, I'm gonna hop down. Thank you.
Be well.
Ramen, my friend.
Ramen.
I found my edition.
You did.
I did. It's the pocket edition, so it's tiny.
Hello, Alice. How are you today? What's on
I'm
your
working on-
minds?
I'm working on fusing the rest of the information into my head.
Yes, there you go. See,
worked
that's
it.
how you do it.
You know what? It occurred to me, I don't have headphones in, so I don't know if you guys are hearing yourselves doubled.
No, we're good.
No, thank you for asking, though. All good. Go ahead.
You mentioned pirate jokes, and it made me think of my favorite one. So if you want to devote this time more to reading, I understand, but it
Please
made me
tell me
think
a
of my...
pirate joke.
No, I demand you share your joke with us right now.
I'm notoriously bad at traditional joke delivery, but I will give it my best.
What does every good joke have in common? Timing.
Nope.
Sorry.
So bad.
That's very good. That's very good. So a man walks into a bar. He's not from around these parts, and he discovers it's a pirate bar. And it's filled with pirates, and he sits down next to a rough-looking gentleman with a wooden eye, and he says, "Oh, you're not from around. You're not from around these parts, are you?" And he says, "Oh no, I'm not." And they get to talking, and they're spending the night a few hours in, and the pirate takes a drink, and he says, "Oh, it's a liquid courage, but I wish I had God damn it. Shut up, computer. Stop. I'm sorry. Computer.
I was like, I don't know that. That
Bad
sounds
time.
crazy. Pirates have computers? Wow. I love this joke.
What? No, stop. Stop making sounds. Computer. Stop.
Alexa,
Jesus,
order
bad
the Gospel
timing.
of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I had it, and let me,
Good, you
let
can
me
start again.
fucking turn the
Brian
volume
is
down.
notorious for knowing the name of my Alexa, and I have changed the name of my Alexa, and he will yell things to my Alexa through the phone or through Discord and be like, I'm not saying it now because I swear to God she'll wake up.
Alexa, play Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yeah.
Name.
Yeah, and the pirate yells, "Computer!" No.
You can start over if you would like. Go ahead, honey.
I know where I am in the joke, but I'm gonna give it. Okay, the man walks into a bar.
Just go restart. Go ahead.
Man walks into a bar. It's a pirate bar. He's sitting next to a
Hold on.
Yep.
Someone in the chat said my Alexa just started singing it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Anyway, can I turn on my... There I am. Wait, am I? Hello. I'm very small now. Hi. Oh no, it went away. I wanted to... There. Hello. Save. And
My Alexa
there
played
I
it
am.
too.
Hi. Okay. So he sits next to a pirate with a wooden eye, and they get to drinking, and They go. A few hours pass, and the pirate.
Oh, honey, everybody in the chat it says, please start from the beginning. Everyone's so
Okay.
lost.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I can't breathe still.
I'm sorry. That's the sad thing is that's going to be 10 times funnier than the joke I actually tell.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's going to be completely anticlimactic.
No, it's gonna be the greatest thing ever because everybody's so revved up. Just do it, bro. I promise.
Can I say this? Can I say this really quick? It's not part of the joke. I saw in the poll questioning whether you should do this every week, and that makes me think that you guys don't do this every week.
No, this
And
is our
I
first
have to say, from a legitimately, like from an ex-Christian, from a person who used to go to church, the wonderful. This is going to sound like I'm bullshitting you. The wonderful energy, the energy I get from this live stream is great, and I hope that it continues. And I've immediately followed you, and I hope that this is a regular thing. It sounds too corny to be true, but it is.
No, it's true. We talk about this all the time, that people that have left religion don't have a place to go. There are some resources, and we talk about them every once in a while. But, I mean, religion is part of people's socialization, and without somewhere to go, people don't have that. So we're trying to create a safe space for everyone to come and be silly and leave behind their, BS and be pasta-y.
And I'd actually picked up the gospel of the flying spaghetti monster before, and it was good. It was funny, but I didn't have that. Funny. I didn't have that community, and so I put it down. This would be a thing I would like to have in my life. Anyway,
this is cool, right?
This is very cool.
So we do talks all the time, and we're just generally goofy atheists that come on here and bullshit. And but I mean, we have Lisa, the rainbow giraffe, who definitely look into Lisa. I promise you, she is a Holy Spirit of her own.
I don't know if you are saying another religion or a TikTok user.
No. Well, she also has a TikTok, but Lisa, the rainbow giraffe, does in fact have a YouTube, and they do speak of her. But she is the creator of the universe along with the flying spaghetti monster. There is some debate in that, and the chat will be upon you. That is my true belief, but it's just a bunch of silly atheists,
Yeah,
and we have fun.
I've dabbled in.
What?
I've dabbled in. Not to take up too much time. Anyways,
please tell the joke from the beginning. We are fully ready. Go.
So, man walks into a bar, and he discovers that it's a pirate bar. It's a pirate tavern. I don't know what that was. And I was like, "What's pirate tavern music sound like?" It was like da-da-da, but with more yars. Yeah. So, and he sits next to a big burly pirate woman, and she has a wooden eye, and they get to drinking, and they spend like they're there for a few hours. They get to they're sharing sort of their life stories. The pirate perhaps spreads the good word of the gospel. Regardless, they a few hours later, the pirate has a cup of ale, and says, "I liquid courage, but I'll never have enough courage to talk to me one true love." And the man says, "Who's that?" And he says, "Other than the sea, it would be, of course, Peggy Sue, the lass over there." And there is in fact a woman across the bar, and she has a peg leg, a wooden peg leg, and the pirate says, she's here every night. I never been brave enough to speak to her." And then the man says, "Well, you should go talk to her. You should go talk to her." So the pirate says, "All right, maybe I will." the pirate goes over and he walks up with his and he says, Peggy Sue, we've been coming to the same bar for months, and I was wondering if you would like to go on a cruise one of these days. And Peggy Sue turns around and she says, "Would I?" And the pirate turns to her and says, "Peg leg." That's it. That's it. That's the joke. Thank you. I'll be here for about 5 more seconds.
Would I?
Would I ever?
That was it. Thank you so much for having me on. I
Raw
don't
man.
know how to leave because
You can either swipe up and down, and then there's a little X.
well,
Yeah, hit the multi-guest button and then disconnect.
I should have thought of this before I joined.
No, you're good.
It's okay.
You're good.
Thank you for sharing,
no.
brother.
I am
Thank you
not
for sharing.
seeing any
Okay, so all
any
the way at
of
the
the
bottom it
things.
says camera, mic, multi-guest.
Oh yes, there. Okay.
Multi-guest,
Thank
and
you. Thank you so much. Praise be to the Almighty, and
Ramen,
God,
my friend.
God, I love pirates. Goodbye.
Manicotti. Oh, we had another guest waiting. I was going to get you next. All right, I'll give you another.
Friends.
Yeah, I'm going to give. Let's do one or two more guests. Share a pirate joke if you got them, and then I want to get back to reading from Bobby Henderson's wonderful work, The Gospel
I would
of the
love,
Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Our masterful doctor friend is here that loves
I
the
see that.
stars. I would love to know if he has any proof that there could be noodles or string theory or anything through the stars. Is there any proof, sir?
Have your telescope.
Noodly. The planets are meatball shaped.
Have your telescopes ever spotted any spaghetti or linguine out in the stars? I wonder.
All I keep thinking of is the trails look very noodly behind
Yes, the trails of a comet are evidence of spaghetti noodly goodness, spaghetti noodly appendages coming off of heavenly bodies floating through the cosmos.
String theory proves our pasta lord.
String theory. Yes, we just covered string theory. The DNA, the double helix of DNA is just really, really, really tiny bits of strands of spaghetti. And smaller than that, string theory are vibrating little spaghettis, tiny like angel hair pasta. It's like angel hair pasta. And every different vibration is a different form of matter. It's science. Everyone, it's science. This is the truth. This is science at work.
Right? It's like our DNA is just like tiny twisted egg noodle, like very little itty bitty twisted. Yeah, of course.
Where were we? We were talking about the origins of the pirates.
Oh, where are we, sir? So I can follow along.
Regardless, this is page 53 in my book. I don't know what it is in yours. 2,500 years ago, the golden age of pirates is the name of the chapter. I wish I should add chapter and verse. Just write them in. Like, here's a new paragraph, here's a verse.
I'll be right back.
So I can refer to them. Yeah. So I can refer to them. Page 53, chapter 2,500 years ago, the golden age of pirates, verse 5. Regardless of the lies told about them, the first Pastafarians were peace-loving explorers and spreaders of goodwill, not bloodthirsty criminal pirates. In fact, they were well known to distribute candy to passing children, thus establishing what is known as Halloween. Facts, people, facts. This is the truth. This is the truth. You just have to believe. Of course, it was not all good times. Not everyone was a believer, and some rejected his word and felt the need to go out on the ocean in their own probably lame, ships and pick fights with the Pastafarians. Most notable was Noah of biblical fame, who slaps together a monstrous barge made of wood and whatever else he found around, probably dirt, who knows. Noah, well known for his love of animals, always had plenty around. So, when he found himself with a lack of building materials, he descended to us hundreds of defenseless animals as ballast, mainly the slowest, dumbest, and most dense that he could come across. It's not known exactly what occurred during this time of Noah and the pirates, but enough historical texts have survived through the years to get a rough picture of the events that transpiredeth. This dude is obsessed with religions. No, I like other things too, like music, video games, reading. Stuff like that. But I find religion fascinating. It's part of the human experience. Why don't you dive into other religions? Read other religious texts. If I can pass one little bit of advice on to everyone, it's to read the text of other religions. Read the four Vedas from Hinduism. Read the works of Confucius. Read the Tao Te Ching. Read the... Everyone, name another holy text. Something other than the normal, boring ones. Anything other than the Abrahamic religions. I wish I could name the holy texts of the Mayans and the Incas, but I can't. Do you know why? The Christians destroyed them all. What a shame. What a shame indeed. Okay, now back to Noah's dirt ship. Noah alone, alone except for his animals and ballast, propelled by jealousy and maybe a group of talking seals, set forth in search of Pastafarians. Unfortunately for Noah, he found one of the most badass pirate ships around and started talking way too much smack. The Pastafarians, being above all peaceful and maybe a little bit drunk, ignored his verbal abuse. It was only when Noah, ever the dick, physically attacked the Pastafarian ship by hurling from his bow the pointiest of animals that the Pastafarians took that's when the Pastafarians took notice. We were told that the largest, scariest of the Pastafarians swam, for maybe just jumped, from ship to ship. They were that powerful, and confronted Noah. Immediately seeing the error in his ways, Noah offered some turtles or something as a way of apologizing. The Pastafarians, probably having plenty of their own turtles, said no deal, and proceeded to intimidate the bejesus out of Noah. That's a wonderful passage. Now that I've read it for the first time, I'm going to reread this passage with a little more clarity. Let me get my noodly ear appendage in. Immediately seeing the error in his ways, Noah offered some turtles or something as a way of apologizing. The Pastafarians, probably having plenty of their own turtles, said no deal, and proceeded to intimidate the bejesus out of Noah. We don't know exactly what was said, but it's clear that Noah went himself to such an extent that even Christians associated him with the Great Flood. Needless to say, he never mistreated animals again, not even chickens, who were pretty much asking for it. Excuse me. Yes, see, the noodly holy appendages wanted to spring forth from my nostrils. The words are so powerful. Or maybe it's just a little wood smoke in the air. 1700s to Code of Pasta and Pirates is the name of the next chapter. Yes. Needless to say, spaghetti, bless you. Yes, thank you. Rigatoni to all. Pasta, couscous, and orzo to one and all. For centuries after that, no one messed with the pirates, and the natural order of things was kept in balance. Although swag and grog set many a ship to the bottom of sea, losing important historical documents in the process, the pirates lived a life of peace and merriment, spreading his word as far as places like Belgium. They continued to celebrate Halloween, and during the last 2 months of every year took time off from sailing the seas to relax and spend time with their families during their most holiest of times, Halloween, the holy day. But there were dark storms on the horizon, and the pirates did not know what evil awaited them. Convinced of the inherent evil of pirates, Hare Krishnas, who are descended from ninjas, banded together at various seaports and declared a holy war against the pirates. By tens of thousands, maybe even dozens, they boarded steel-plated kayaks and paddled out in search of pirates, whom they intended to annihilate from the four corners of the earth. You might think that the Flying Spaghetti Monster would have noticed the Hare Krishnas and protected his chosen people, but he mistook the Krishnas for just another musical band of seagoing beggars, or maybe fishermen singing their shanties, and he lets them pass unharmed. As the first Krishnas arrived at a pirate ship in Halloween, the pirates mistook them for overly dedicated trick-or-treaters. What followed next was a mass slaughter, as the pirates tried to pass out treats while the Krishnas beat and sliced them to dirt with their double-bladed kayak paddles. Sadly, this pattern was repeated several times that day. The next year was even worse. Eventually, the pirates retreated to hidden coves where they could keep a lookout for their bloodthirsty Krishna bastards. Was there something in the Krishna's singing that blinded the pirates to their evil? We may never know. And while mainstream education tells us that pirates were hunted down because they were thieves, killers, etc., this is largely misinformation campaign propagated by the Krishnas and many of the other religions that banded together to begin their systematic assault on the pirates' worship of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Sad times in our time of Pastafarian history, indeed. Hunted nearly to extinction, the pirates were indeed quite pissed off for several centuries, and the textbooks reveal the very detail of the looting and pillaging, but are suspiciously quiet about the fact that pirates were well known as passing out candy to children. The sad truth is that the other religions were jealous of the pirates and their happy lifestyle. It's that simple. Thankfully for the pirates, the attack eventually slowed down and they nearly stopped altogether, as the other religions inevitably turned against one another, which is where we find ourselves today. While it is becoming common knowledge that declining pirates' numbers are a direct result of religious persecution, what is not yet known is what happens to the remaining pirates and where they are located. Sadly, many pirates simply hid their treasures, gave away their giant turtles, and retired, moving to places like Ireland and, ironically, India. Others hid out in the Straits of Malaysia while they formed well-known sports franchises. What is little known about our mystical forerunners is that in addition to hiding treasures, pirates sought to conceal their religious texts. In fact, the treasure was included largely to ensure. In fact, the treasure was included largely to ensure that others would go out and look for these documents in the future during more tolerant times. On this count, the pirates were wildly successful, and there are still treasure hunters searching for an entire pirate loot today. Unfortunately, many of our original texts have been lost as their importance was overlooked, being mistaken for recipes in some cases. Key moments in Flying Spaghetti Monster history. I think that is where I am going to stop my reading for the day of the Gospel. However, we have pictures. We have lots of pictures that I will share.
But I brought candy.
So we see this evolution of pasta, trees, and kangaroos. It's science, people. It's science. And here we have a photograph of ancient Roman structures and the flying spaghetti monster. It's science, people. Here's a photograph. You can't deny it. And of course, our beloved David. Or Adam, whatever.
Exactly.
Pick whoever you want this to be. It's whoever. It's a person.
I brought candy.
We have a colored version right here.
It did have to be censored with Terrence.
There we go. Close enough.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
I brought candy.
Ooh, candy.
And my most of my loot is behind me in my treasure chest.
Here's one of my favorite candies.
Who hurt you?
And what else we got in here?
That's a woodworker thing. Okay, this is all natural, organic, earth-friendly mango lollipop. Okay, look.
I got my old man hard candies.
These are delicious. Okay, it's all natural sugar.
Nice.
What else does a pirate hand out to children? Corn syrup? Nope.
What else indeed? No. Got to get that real sugar cane. Look, we got more pictures. More pictures. I'm going to make myself big again. Big again. Look, we have the flying spaghetti monster helping write the Constitution.
Ah, as one does. As one does.
Look, is that Benjamin?
Electricity. I remember this one in the textbook.
That's a Benjamin Franklin right there, and the flying spaghetti monster. Facts, people. It's facts. We got evidence. Facts. Look at that. Look at that beautiful photograph. Facts. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Oh yeah. We have a picture of the moon landing. Right?
Someone said, how bad does this trigger people? A lot.
They usually just leave. But I wish they would stay and hear the gospel of the flying spaghetti monster.
I wish they would come and hear the word, the true word.
Yeah. I mean, look, people, we can go to basically any supermarket today. Go to the pasta aisle, and there you will find absolute proof that the flying spaghetti monster exists. Ramen, tortellini, capellini, linguine, capellini, couscous to all. He boiled for our sins. Then we've got questions and answers. I think I want to end with the what is it? 7, I really rather you didn't. That would be a good thing to end with. The 8, I really rather you didn't. Number 1. I'd really rather you didn't act like a sanctimonious holier-than-thou ass when describing my noodly goodness. If some people don't believe in me, that's okay, really. I'm not that vain. Besides, this isn't about them, so don't change the subject. Number 2. I'd really rather you didn't use my existence as a means to oppress, subjugate, punish, eviscerate, and/or, be mean to others. I don't require sacrifices as purity, and purity is for drinking water, not people. Number 3. I'd really rather you didn't judge people for the way they look, or how they dress, or the way they talk, or, well, just play nice, okay? Oh, and get this in your thick heads. Women equal person. Men equal person. Samey. One is not better than the other. Unless we're talking about fashion, and I'm sorry, but I give that to women and some guys who know the difference between teal and fuchsia. Facts.
Fettuccine!
Facts. Fettuccine. Number 4. I'd really rather you didn't indulge in conduct that offends yourself or your willing, consenting partner of legal age and mental maturity. As for anyone who might object, I think the expression is, go F yourself. Unless they find that offensive, in which case they can turn off the TV for once and go for a walk for a change. Yeah, if you don't like it, if you're being offended, change the channel. Swipe up or down, left or right, or whatever the app requires.
Yeah.
Go touch some grass. Number 5.
Breathe some clean air.
I'd really rather, yes, Keith be upon you. Number 5. I really rather you didn't challenge the big... Sorry, I'm going to start over. I need to take a breath. Number 5. I'd really rather you didn't challenge the bigoted, misogynist, hateful ideas of others on an empty stomach. Eat, then go after the bigots. Number 6. I'd really rather you didn't build multi-million-dollar churches, temples, mosques, shrines to my noodly goodness, when the money could be better spent on, take your pick, ending poverty, curing diseases, living in peace, loving with passion, and lowering the cost of cable and internet, for that matter. Ramen to that. Rotini. I might be a complex carbohydrate omniscient being, but I enjoy the simple things in life. I ought to know I am the creator. Ramen. Number 7. I'd really rather you didn't go around telling people I talk to you. You're not that interesting. Get over yourself. And I told you to love your fellow man. Can't you take a hint? And finally, number 8. I'd really rather you didn't do unto others as you would have them do unto you if you are into stuff that uses a lot of leather, lubricants, Las Vegas. If that other person is into it, however, then have at it. Take pictures, and for the love of Mike, wear a condom. Honestly, it's a piece of rubber. I didn't want to feel good when you did it. I would have added spikes or something. Ramen. That was really messed up. I'm going to read that again. Number 8. I'd really rather you didn't do unto others as you would have them do unto you if you are into it. Stuff that uses a lot of leather, lubricants, Las Vegas. Period. If the other person is into it, however, pursuant to number 4, then have at it. Take pictures, and for the love of Mike, Wear a condom. Honestly, it's a piece of rubber. If I didn't want it to feel good when you did it, I would have added spikes or something. And that's the end of the 8 I really rather you didn't. Ramen. And then the next chapter is a history of heretics. It includes pictures, such as this one. You're welcome. Thank you, Bobby Henderson. Then the next chapter is propaganda, the Pastafarian guides to propaganda. Propagander.
Someone says Bobby Henderson was a heretic.
And then we've got pamphlets. Oh, lots of pamphlets to print off and share. See, it's just a wealth of knowledge. Oh,
How do you respond to that, Pastor Brian?
We've I dare not judge, lest me be judged. See, if you ever see this symbol, that's the symbol of the Flying Spaghetti Monster Pastafarian Church Underground. That's the non-Jesus fish.
The non-Jesus.
It's the Jesus fish, but it's pirate. See, it's a pirate.
It's a dead fish, Brian.
This is it. This is the pirate Jesus fish. Facts. It's science.
It's science. To science.
To science.
I can't.
How to make your very own flying spaghetti monster simulacrum. You need 2 googly eyes, 1 bag of rubber bands, about 50 rubber bands, 1 piece of cleaner, 2 brown fluff balls, glue, and some scissors. And we have how-to pictures.
How lovely.
See?
Instruction manuals are always important.
Tie the knot, just like he describes. Add the rubber bands. Add the googly eyes and floof. And you can make your own Pastafarian monster simulacrum. And here's the final product.
It's very impressive.
See? We can all do it. It's not hard. If you have kids, build a flying spaghetti monster simulacrum today. Unless they're under 3, in which case some of these items may be a choking hazard.
Please do not try this at home. Someone said, wow, that's very impressive. I agree.
Yes. The Genesis story. Oh, the mathematics of the Creator. See, there's so much more wisdom that we're going to get to another day. I do see that the viewership has dropped. So what I'm going to do is end the live. Unless anyone wants to come up and share their piece, I'm going to end the live, go use the restroom, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to defrock myself. Not completely, don't worry. And then we're going to come back and have one of our more normal TikTok live episodes.
First of all, I would just like to say to the people in the chat, get him. Secondly, to those who believe in other faiths, to come in and just to be rude, that is not very Jesus-like of you.
That's right. We should speak well to one another, right? Yep. We should... I need to put a dog
Apparently,
ear in that.
gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. Well, sir, is it not to treat your neighbor as... Like, I'm sorry, just go. Like, if you don't want to be here, just leave. Like, why?
No, it's okay. I feed off of their hate. Their hate fuels me.
No, he came in and called me fat.
Oh, that's not acceptable. That's just rude. That deserves a swift boot. I see you, guest. Hang on 1 second. I just want to put a dog ear in my holy book so I may quickly and swiftly, with pasta speed, refer back to the 8 I really rather you didn't. Here they are.
You did not win, sir.
Okay.
What? Why must he think? Why must they be rude?
Pasta speed to you. Why must they be rude? Hello and welcome.
Pasta speed. That's awesome, bro. That was really funny.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love to entertain.
Hi, Kels. For that person that commented on your post, just know that they're an asshole and that you're beautiful.
Thank you. It's gonna be one of those days
Yes.
where the Christians just come to hate. While we share love, they spread hate because that is what their God teaches. How sad.
Raw men. Yeah, so what how's the saying go? Ye without those of you without a sin cast the first stone. You should listen to the wise words of your I'm assuming you're a Christian. I don't know. What do you believe in? And what wise words did they teach you that you are neglecting right now?
True.
Be more of a child. Be more like in the eyes of a child. Jesus said, "Be more like a child," in the sense that the man has yet corrupted the mind of the child. So, as everybody being in that part of the group was making fun of and picking on this family, Jesus had looked upon his followers and had mocked them and said, "Why are you laughing? Be more of this child, for her thoughts are pure."
It's right there in the book. And the book also says, be sure to sell your daughter at a fair market price. So, just keep that in mind.
And are you really living like Jesus if you're not selling all your clothes for swords? Like, honestly.
That's a good point.
Something about gather your slaves from the neighboring countries around you. And not to beat them too much, just make sure that they don't die within a few days. That's fine though. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have to cut off certain bodily parts to have a covenant with God on
Oh
the
yeah,
eighth
God
day.
forbid you were
So
to not mutilate an infant.
yeah, it's vastly important that on the eighth day that a child was, birthed, the breath of God entered their body, and on the eighth day you have to make an alteration to God's perfect creation
Don't
for
forget the
some
Bible.
reason. I don't really get it either, but
Mhm.
that's a you thing. That's a you thing. That's not a me thing,
The
right?
Bible doesn't say anything about slavery. I don't.
The
So,
side eye.
so Joy Drake said, "Don't forget the Bible says to be kind to your slaves," right? Well, I'm not sure about you, but the last time I read the Bible, there was nothing about slavery in there. So where did slavery come from? This is something that was man-made, fabricated to separate the mass.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts to my guests. If there are any more guests that want to share a pasta thoughts, I'm going to shut the live down, but I will be back. I just want to restart the live, maybe get some more viewers in, and continue on our normal kind of program.
Yeah, I feel like we should go back to atheist TikTok.
Yeah.
Lisa, be upon you all.
All right. And last thoughts.
Um, no,
Be kind
just
to one another.
mm,
There's
I'm
no
just
there's
here to
no need for
continue.
hatred, my friends. If the whole world loved each other, there would be no starvation, there would be no hunger, there would be no poor. If everyone saw everyone as equally, we would be in a much better place. But you choose to hate.
No, that's government
And
for you.
we live in the world we do.
You know, government tells me strict,
Go touch
so
grass.
Yeah, exactly. Go look at the sky.
Yeah, go look at the trees. Go cook some pasta.
Someone said you're
Unless
not
you're...
kind. Okay,
I'm not gonna-
goodbye.
Instead of
Have a
offering
lovely day.
people some
Mwah.
cookies.
All right,
Mwah.
ending the live. Please exit before I end the live.
All right.
Au
See you
revoir.
later, man.
Yes, love and kindness be to all. And you know what? Some ideas deserve criticism and ridicule. It's just how I think, right? I think people deserve respect unless they prove themselves to be not worthy of respect, right? I can think of a few people throughout the ages that do not deserve a shred of respect, right? But for the most part, it's important to treat people with respect. But ideas do not deserve respect. Ideas deserve to be challenged. Ideas deserve to be scrutinized and measured and weighed against reality. Because if I have beliefs that are supported by ideas that do not comport with reality, that's a perfect opportunity to practice skepticism on ideas, right? If I believe things to be true, where is it? Yeah, here we go. If I believe claims to be true, then I need evidence to back them up. And if my beliefs and ideas do not comport with reality, then that idea is flawed. And that idea has to be rejected. If you are in the pursuit of knowledge, if you care what is true and what is not true, then bad ideas that are not supported with evidence have to be rejected or changed. You can alter your ideas. You can change your beliefs. You, my dear believer, can change your belief. You don't have to stick with these bad ideas. Ideas do not deserve respect. People do. So I want to respect people as much as they are worthy of my respect, right? I'll always come into a conversation with respect until you prove yourself not worthy of my respect. But your ideas do not deserve a shred of respect. Instead, they deserve criticism. All right, we have one last guest, KT. I want you to share what's on your minds, and then I'm going to end the live. Hello, welcome. Final thoughts.
Yo, bro.
How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm doing very good. I just woke up an hour ago. It might be a little echoing in my room. I'm on the toilet. But like don't kill me for that. I was just hey,
It's all
go ahead.
good. No, I can hear you fine. Just please remember to wash your hands when you're done.
I got you. But I got like two questions.
Yeah.
So do you have that stuff on like to like go with your point?
I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
Do you have that is that an actual hat?
It's a colander. I'm preaching the gospel of the flying spaghetti monster today, and this is part of our costume.
Okay, I thought that was like something from the kitchen or something. I'm not gonna lie. It
Yeah.
is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. This is a cheese grater from the 50s.
That's
It's
nice.
holy to me.
I like that.
I hope you don't mind my cheesy jokes.
So do you use that still, or is that just like you got another one and that's like your main one?
No. This is purely for keeping the alien thoughts out of my head. I have a really nice colander that I use in the kitchen.
But I like what you're doing. I seen that you was saying you was basically like just spreading positivity.
Yeah.
And I was like and I've been in a lot of lives today already because I just woke up. I'm trying to get my speech like I'm trying to like get better at speaking like way better. So I'm joining all these lives just to talk and like debating. And there's been a lot of debates. It's like just random debates, like unneeded debates
Yeah.
that doesn't really do nothing but just makes it.
Oh, yeah, right here. I haven't finished reading this, but if you are interested in improving discourse, the conversation that we have with people, I cannot recommend this book enough. This is Peter Boghossian and James Lindsay, How to Have Impossible Conversations.
Okay.
Please, everyone, pick up
That's
a copy.
beautiful.
Yes.
That's
How
beautiful.
to Have Impossible Conversations. And it's a very systematic methodology. For example, I'll just share a little bit of the 7 fundamentals of good conversations. Number 1, goals. What are your goals? Why are you engaging in this conversation? And these are just things to have in your mind every time you start these conversations. I have a little notebook here. Where's my notebook? Here. This is just a simple notebook that I take notes in, and I'll flip through these before I go live to remind myself of important points. So number 1, goals. Number 2, partnership. Be partners, not adversaries in a conversation, right? Because we want to figure out what's true together because we're partners on this planet. We share this planet together, right?
Yeah.
Number 3, rapport. Develop and maintain a good connection. Rapport. How are we engaging? Are we adversaries or can we have a good dialogue? Number 4, listen. Active listening is more important than talking. Number 5, they say shoot the messenger. This is an idea. Don't deliver your truth. Don't preach. I know I was doing a lot of preaching today.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the shtick, right? But don't preach. When you're trying to have a good conversation, have a conversation. Listen.
Yeah.
Don't just preach. Number 6, intentions. People have better intentions than you think. Don't assume that people are being vindictive or manipulative. Assume that people have good intentions. And finally, number 7, walk away. Don't push your conversation partner beyond their comfort zone. Know when to stop. Right? So that's just a little bit of preaching I'll share from this wonderful book that everyone should read.
Do you think that gets you, you think that could get you some women?
If women was my goal, perhaps.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but my goals aren't to procreate. My goals are to appreciate the people in my life that I love and cherish, whether they be men or women or anything in between. And that's just me. Do you think it could help you get women? Is that your goal?
No, that's not my goal. That used to be my goal, but now it got tiring. It gets tiring at a time.
Women are complicated, aren't they?
No, it's just yeah.
So are men, though.
Especially the ones that's like 50 years old, bro. They don't be trying to give me no money.
Oh, let me in. Chelsea wants back in. All right, Chelsea. All right, what is it?
We talk about women. What are you talking about? You think we're going to talk about how complicated women is and I'm not going to just pop up?
Why? Do you have a different opinion?
Oh, no. Women complicated as hell, bro. No. Women are complicated.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's why they're way more fun.
Yeah,
the ones that's humans are complicated is the ones you can manipulate.
As hell. Facts.
Yeah. Yes. All right, my friends. Final words.
To all those, spread love and kindness. There's no need for hate.
Man,
Thanks, Chelsea.
You took mine. Hold on. Let me think of something.
Yeah.
I just say, just love yourself, love others, spread positivity. That's like 3. That's 3. Or are we doing facts? And I say just keep it going. Skep TikToker. I really like that. What you doing?
Thank you.
You have a good day.
Will do. Yeah, you too. Have a great day. Have a pasta day, my friends.
You too.
Have a pasta day. Should we make this a weekly thing? Everyone says yes. 100%. So, by popular demand, unless something comes up in my life that prevents me from doing this as a weekly thing, I think we should. All right. So on that note, thank you all for being here. Please spread the noodly goodness words of his of his complex carbohydrate goodness. Parmesan, everyone. Rastafari. Rotini and tortellini to all. Remember to find some holy objects in your life. Don't be afraid of cheesy jokes, and strain out the good thoughts from the bad. Peace and love to all. And I'll be back soon. I'm going to restart the live. I'm going to go make some more tea, use the restroom myself. I'm going to wash my hands. And we'll see you on the other side. Ramen.